And now we're live.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Patrick Carr Show. Middle of the week, right, brother?
Yeah.
It is the middle of the week, everybody. We are live here. Coming to you from Orlando, Florida, as always. A little bit late with today's show. Usually we're around lunchtime lately, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize, there's a separate company that's here,
Yeah.
Which, we have things that come up with our day. I'm just like any other business owner. Things are going to come up and we have to deal with those things as they do. But we attempt to try to get this show on around the same time every day. Thank you very much for joining us as you come into the chat. Make sure you chat with us. We do, Anthony over there does try to monitor him the best that we can. Whether you're joining us from Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're coming to us from, we've got a great show for you here today. For those of you who are in Central Florida, if you're anywhere from the I-4 corridor, I'm talking about Tampa, all the way over to New Smyrna, this show is really going to be primarily for you. We've got a lot of great stuff today because last night was the Orange County mayoral debate. I never thought in my life, Anthony, I would be that individual that was excited about a mayoral debate.
Yeah.
I never thought that me and you would be sitting here, but last night you got the popcorn, I got the Skittles. We were right here to see everything, to be able to debate it ourselves. And be able to work through what we thought the candidates were saying today. We have all the highlights for you. So if you're from Central Florida, if you're a voter that hasn't made up their mind, if you want to kind of understand a little bit more about what these candidates represent, we're going to do our best today to try to give you the highlights of last night's mayoral debate. Anthony, I think that it was a little surprising at times, but other things that we expected. But before I jump into that, how are you doing over there? Anything new going on in your world, brother?
No, nothing really much. Just still waking up. Even though it's almost 2:00, still waking up.
I know, for real, man. We've been go though today.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man. I can't believe it's almost 2. I feel like we just got here today.
I was thinking it's 12 o'clock,
Me too.
11 o'clock, and I was looked at the time. And I was oh my god, it's already 2.
I know it's 1:40 right now. So everybody, we're launching this here after lunch. Again, keep us on. Hope you're watching us here at the office or something like that. We'd love to be able to keep you entertained at least for the next 45 minutes to an hour as we roll through the Orange County mayoral debate, which was yesterday. We've got the election coming up, Anthony, on August the 18th, everybody. And so it's a big thing if you were here in Central Florida. We have been critical of the direction that Orange County is going in. That's the county that I live in and the city of Orlando. And so if we're going to fix that, we need a leader who's going to step in, who understands those challenges for Orange County and what we need to do to fix them. And so last night's debate focused on quite a few things. We went through housing, you went through safety, we went through Amendment 3. We talked about first responders. We talked about a vision for the future of Orlando. And we've got a number of clips right here that we're going to try to show you and allow you to make your choice and inferences based on what you see. I'm going to do my best to give you what I think is going on, what I took away from what the candidate is saying, and we're going to allow you through the comments, give us what you thought of the debate if you watched it or as you watch these clips. We surely want to hear from you. We'll make sure that, Anthony, you can grab a couple of those, especially if there are any questions. We've been very fortunate on this show to be able to interview a number of these candidates and to be able to talk to the people that are close to them. So first of all, Anthony, before we jump into the clips, I want to say this. WFTV Channel 9 crushed it last night for this live feed that they did. It was only an hour. Martha Sagowski and Greg Warmoth did an awesome job. There wasn't any back and forth or favoritism I felt like that was showed. They asked tough questions to each and every one of them. I thought they were poignant questions, and I thought they did a fair job. I had no complaints about the moderators at all in this one.
No, I think they did a great job. And honestly, there was no fluff answer or fluff question. It's it felt like real direct questions and questions that we would want to know.
Yeah, in fact, I felt like there were some questions in there I felt like that we would have asked the way we would have asked them.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We're going to get to visit Orlando, Lord knows, on this show. But they asked some really poignant questions about that. Very happy with the job that Martha and Greg both did. Shout out to them. They only had 1 hour, everybody. So this was a mayoral debate that was only 1 hour long. For 4 candidates to be on stage, that's not a lot of time. And I got to give it to all the candidates. So give you Stephanie Murphy, Chris Messina, Myra Uribe, and Tiffany Moore Russell. Sorry there, Tiffany. I thought they did a very nice job of staying within the time limit. We weren't in one of those things where everybody was trying to talk over one another.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well done in that respect. I thought everybody was almost too respectful of one another up there on stage. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But should I start with my winners and losers, Anthony, or do you want to get that to the end?
I think the end.
The end?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. At the end of this, let's watch some clips, everybody, from last night's mayoral debate for Orange County. I'm going to give you a little preface on each one. At the end, I'll go into exactly who my winners and losers were and what I think you need to know over the next 2 weeks leading up into this August the 18th election. Let's get started, Anthony. I'm going to go into our first clip right here. We've got two differing viewpoints, and I want you to make the view for yourself. The first is coming. This is regarding housing and the specific question of housing in Orange County. First, I want you to listen to Chris Messina, and then I want you to listen to Stephanie Murphy's answer, and then we're going to dissect this. Anthony, let's roll that clip.
Affordability is a function of your job. If you have a good job, lots of things are affordable. If you have a job that's at the bottom of the income level, and Greater Orlando is 49th out of 50 major metro areas in terms of median individual income, and it's been that way for a decade. If you don't have a great job, lots of things are unaffordable. So the first thing we need to do is to bring in great jobs.
Okay. So I want to stop right there, Anthony. So what I want you to understand about this answer that Chris gave and what I really liked last night, they're talking about housing. There's a temptation, of course, especially for Democrats, to go right into affordable housing. How do we get more housing? Chris decided to answer this question in a different way. He looked at how do we raise incomes for individuals? How do we get their income up in order for them to be able to afford housing? There are two very different viewpoints in how people look at this. And I want you to be aware as you watch this, because now we're going to see from a conservative to more of a Democrat right here and how they approach the housing situation. Let's take a listen to Stephanie Murphy now.
Have a job in this county, you should be able to afford to live in this county. And how we reduce the cost that permitting is adding to bringing housing units to the market, there are a number of things that we can do. We can create a cross-functional team that handles housing permitting from application all the way to certificate of occupancy, taking the approach of seeing housing more as an economic development project than just a pure permitting project. We can provide transparency into the process and set a clock for when an applicant might see their proposal accepted or denied. And we can create partnerships with large employers and who also have a vested interest in ensuring that there is workforce housing. And we can do all of that with codes and that ensure that we retain the character of communities.
Okay. So I really don't think here, Anthony, that Stephanie's answer was terrible by any means. I think what she was trying to get across is there's a lot of bureaucracy and red tape in order to get housing put through in Orange County. If we can cut through that bureaucracy, then we're going to have an opportunity for more housing and better affordability for people. My point is to say this, that I want everyone to understand. There's going to be a choice on August the 18th into the approach that we take in the future of Central Florida. And that approach can be, do we say that people need higher wages and we need to make sure that they're making those? Or do we just force people into the affordable housing and say that's the problem? We can't have one without the other. That's one of the reasons I really did like Chris's answer to begin this debate. I like that he didn't fall for the trap, especially as the conservative that is on stage. He didn't fall into just roll right into affordable housing and just go cheap, cheap, cheap. How do we get more, more, more? He focused on, we need private industry to come into Orange County, raising the median income. As he said, we're in the very bottom, everyone, 49 or 50th for median income for large to medium cities in the entire country. Number 50. I mean, the average household income, I believe, is somewhere around 40,000. Don't hold me to that, but it's extremely low in Orange County. So this is where I gotta love what Chris did to start this. He had some rocky patches we're going to discuss in a minute, but he did a good job of not falling into that Democratic trap in keeping with his conservative values on this one. Now, the next clip we want to play, we've got Stephanie Moore Russell and Myra Uribe. We're going to be talking here about housing again. I want you to listen to both of these women and their approaches to housing. Let's first take a listen to Stephanie Moore Russell.
That is where we should be placing that affordable housing projects. It should make sense. The data should drive where we place those opportunities, where the people are, where the driving distance is, where the public transportation is, to make sure it's economical for all. And so I would spread that out. It should not be located just in one particular community. We have great communities across this county. We have Holden Heights, we have Azalea Park, we have South Apopka. We should diversify and make sure we're spreading out those opportunities to everyone in this county.
Let me translate that for you. Everybody in Orange County is going to be getting affordable housing. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you're in. Tiffany Moore Russell is going to be pushing for affordable housing opportunities, as she calls them, to enter into your city. That's what's going to happen here. So she may call them an opportunity. I want you to think about, as a voter, do you want that in your city? Do you want that in your town? Do you want that in your neighborhood? Is that what you want being built? Now, I can understand all sides of this. On the other side, you have, well, listen, it's not fair to keep on building affordable housing in one area. But voters have to understand she's being very clear about what she is going to do. She is going to spread out affordable housing all throughout Orange County instead of isolating it to maybe one area. If that's what you believe is going to help Orange County, then by all means. But I think what you're going to find is, for many of you out there in Orange County that are voting, you don't want that, quote, opportunity that Tiffany Moore Russell is referring to come to your city or come to your town. So that's a choice that you have to make. I don't agree with it. You may not, but we have a choice. That's why we vote in this country into what we like. So that is the translation, in my opinion, for exactly what Tiffany Moore Russell wants. She wants the affordable housing to increase, and she wants to spread that affordable housing all throughout Orange County. Let's take a listen to what Myra Uribe had to say about this.
But we don't have an inventory problem. We have an affordability crisis when it comes to housing. When 1/3 of our population works in tourism, making $40,000 a year, it's very hard to afford an $1,800 apartment. What I want to see is our ship and sale program, which we can put into effect now, where we can actually subsidize apartments that are already existing, inventory that is out there. But more importantly, when developers come, let's make that negotiation happen from day one. From day one, 10% of your units that can be affordable. We can make it happen.
All right, thank you.
Okay. This again kind of goes back to more the conservative side. This is why I think with Myra, I keep on wanting to put the I behind her name and not the D. Okay, everybody? I mean, she sounded a lot more like an independent than she did a Democrat in this entire debate. When she came on the show, I felt the exact same thing. What she's saying here is that she is attempting to combine a housing, okay, with private development, and she's recognizing the fact that the median income is $40,000. Now, what I don't like in this is that we didn't see the solutions, okay? But part of the solution is accurately identifying the problem. This is why I liked what Myra did right here. She's the only one on stage when it came to housing that accurately identified what the problem was. I assure you, everybody else that we cut out here is just a bunch of word vomit out there. I like that fact right here, Anthony. We left, in fact, watching this live going, okay, she sounds a lot more sure of herself. This sounds like something she has actually had some practice in right here. She's been that commissioner, and she sounded like it on this answer right here, in my opinion.
Yep.
I was really impressed with this one because it identifies the problem. A lot of people out here, you criticize me, and I understand, because you know what? I identify a lot of problems without solutions, and it's because of this reason. If we're going to make changes and we're going to become the robust economy that Orlando should be, with higher median incomes, we have more spending happening locally by people here, not just tourists, then what we need to do is invite private industry into the county. We need to make it a county that private industry wants to come into and stop sucking on the teat of government. That is how we win. And so I like the fact that we're first identifying the actual problem accurately so that we can find a solution. You'll see this is a rare thing in the rest of the debate. As we take it to our next clip right now, Anthony, I want to go to Myra Uribe on this one. I really love it. She's the only one that answered the question clearly on what she would do to cut cost in our government. I want everyone to understand we are spending a $9 billion budget in Orange County next year. $9 billion is what we're talking about. And it keeps on going up. And when asked this question directly, everybody that was there said the exact same thing. Well, we're going to have to look at it, and I'll take a look, and we'll examine things when I come into office. And there was just a bunch of stuff about, okay, yeah, sure you are. No one said what they are going to cut. And get this, understand this, everyone, about the Democrats that are out there, about the liberals that are out there running for things. There's going to be a lot of promises that these individuals give you. Oh, we're going to promise you all the stuff in the world. You have to be able to pay for that stuff. You have to be able to do that. And it's not all coming from TDT. You can't just keep on the back of tourism development. Everybody understands there's some money right there. But eventually you got to get down to brass tacks about where cuts are going to be made if you're going to fund other areas. Anyone who's run a small business, you understand that they're both are necessary. Hell, if you just have a credit card, everybody, you run out the credit card a little bit high, you can't keep on spending on it. Eventually you got to cut your cost. You got to pay down some of your debt, and then you can you do some other things. Same thing with the budget right here. We can't go out spending, okay, on Friday night dinners all the time if we don't have the money to be able to do it. So I really wanted to see from these candidates, what are you going to do to make government smaller? Myra was the one who had an answer. Can we roll that one right now, Anthony?
Yep. What we have to do is we have fiscal departments, 8 agencies across Orange County. That has to stop. That means there's money being asserted in every division. As mayor, you set the agenda. We are going to combine all of our fiscal divisions into one fiscal division, and we are going to cut from the top. Next, we're going to start with zero-based budgets. You do not get to carry your millions of dollars over from the previous year. If we're all cutting, if businesses and families are doing less, are doing more with less, so must your county government, and that starts right here. We are very heavy staffed. From when I started as a county commissioner to where we are now, we have hired so many people. We're going to have to be efficient. There's going to have to be some cuts. But the reality is we have to streamline a process that is taking too long right now because individuals are involved in it.
One of the best answers I heard the entire night. 2 things stuck out to me, everybody. Zero-based budgeting, meaning that you have to defend your budget every single year. A lot of businesses, you're familiar with this, because what it does is it forces you to look at every single cost. It forces you to look at the expenditures and have to defend them. And that's how you actually cut cost. This is a real world perspective. I love the fact that she's talking about the zero-based budgeting right there. The next thing, she admits that they're going to cut jobs. Enough of dancing around it, everyone. Government jobs need to be cut. Yes, people will lose their job, and it's not going to be pretty. But in order to get the budget under control, especially if Amendment 3 does pass, which I think it will, everyone, if it does, cuts will have to be made. You can't dance around that. I want a candidate that's going to give it to me straight. Tell me what's going to happen. It's not going to taste good, but hey, the medicine isn't good going down, but you're going to feel better in the end. In this case right here, she is the only one that was willing to say, yes, cuts to jobs are going to be made, zero-based budgeting. And then in the beginning, what you heard from her is, well, we've got a lot of departments that seem to be doing the exact same thing. We've got overlap. Why don't we bring those departments together? She's going to make cuts when it comes to personnel, and then we're going to have more efficiency. That, to me, is smart leadership. It's the only person, Anthony, despite a $9 billion and growing budget, who is willing to say one thing. Just give me the thing that you're willing to cut out, and there is actually a plan for it. You may or may not agree with Myra, but she is the one who answered the question directly. Now, let's move on to this, because this was an interesting exchange between Chris Messina and Myra. It was regarding Amendment 3 that I just mentioned above. Everybody, this is the homestead tax exemption that's going to, what was it called? Like the no excessive taxing that they just got the name change. I think it was just yesterday. But Amendment 3 will be on the ballot. I think it is going to pass. It's up in the air right now which way it's going to go. But if it does, undoubtedly counties are going to have less money. I want everyone to understand, if less money is coming in from homes, then yes, counties unfortunately are going to have less money to work with. Now, it depends on what side of the you fall onto, whether you think that's a good thing. for a lot of you out there, you're like, man, counties have way too much money as it is. They need to be more efficient. Other people say, well, we need more money for more programs. Let's listen to an interesting exchange right now between one Chris Messina and Myra Uribe.
It's going to affect
first thing we have to do
first
is
responders. That's fear mongering because and on the it's going to affect first responders. That's fear mongering because the language of the ballot initiative specifically says we are going to protect first responders. So I think we can do it, and it will be much better for you, the average citizen out there, once this passes.
I'm going to give our first opportunity to respond to you, to Myra, because she shook her head on that last thing that you said.
Sure.
And I think that was a reference to your answer to Martha's question. What do you have to say?
Absolutely, because actually the Sheriff's Office just joined today voting and asking people to vote no on this because it directly affects the MSTU of fire and police, which the police department is actually subsidized by the general fund of Orange County. They do not even collect enough to run their county. We could not give Sheriff Mina enough funding that he requested to hire 25 more deputies in Orange County. And it's very specific. The reason why the governor's not even very behind this is because it only protected the schools. It did not protect fire and police. And I'm glad that the judge today found the wording very politically posted so that people can get behind this. But when you think of the own sheriff in this county is voting no and supporting a no on this effort, it's because he knows it's going to be a direct impact on his department.
We're going to go to a break in a
All right, let's talk about how this actually works, everybody. Let's just say Chris is actually right here and that it does not negatively affect directly first responders. Undoubtedly, it will affect first responders indirectly. You can't get around this. And as much as I love the conservative values that Chris Messina has, and I do, you have to understand that even though it may not directly say that, when there is less money to go around, you have to make decisions with the money that you have. And so if you have to have less money in the pool, and this person over here, police, firefighters, EMS, first responders, are asking for more money, that means there's either going to be less money that goes somewhere else, or there's going to be less money that's going to be available for them. Let's not play this game. I do like Amendment 3. I think it's a fine idea, but let's not sit here and play this game that counties are going to have less to work with. They absolutely are. Now, do you think that's a good thing? And you think, hey, listen, you should do what everybody else has had to do and deal with less and make it more efficient? Or do you feel like that's a bad thing and it's going to impact areas that are important to your life? This is exactly why we have elections in this country, because you as a voter are going to make that decision about what you think is good, bad, or indifferent for you and your family. Anthony, any thoughts on this one? Because I thought it was interesting that they kind of had a back and forth right there between Chris and Myra.
No, honestly, I really liked how Myra kind of stood up for herself and was like, hey, I don't believe in what you're saying, and this is how I think would solve it. So
yeah, I mean, Chris is not wrong on the actual surface of this. All right. I see where he was going, but you have to dig a little bit deeper and just use some common sense here, everybody. If there's less money in the pool, you still have the same number of people that have their hand out and want that money. You've got to make decisions, and somebody is going to lose. And I believe that Sheriff Mina is rightfully looking for new officers, new technology, just like Chief Smith is. And if this does pass, hard decisions are going to have to be made. And these are decisions that I would not want an Orange County mayor is going to have to make. And I think to ignore that or to say that it is not going to happen was a mistake by Chris Messina. And I thought it was a good rebuttal here by Myra on this one. Let's jump into our next one right here. It's Tiffany Moore Russell. I want to hear what she had to say about the violence in downtown Orlando. Let's go ahead and roll that clip right now, Anthony.
As the mayor of Orange County, to work with the city of Orlando and the city mayor to come up with a robust plan to make Orange County revive downtown Orlando. Because as you stated, as Orlando downtown thrives, so does the...
Yeah, I'll pause it.
Man, I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I'm sorry to do this to you, man. I'm on a show right now. I'm running a little bit behind. I'm in a little bit of a studio here right now. Do you mind if I give you a ring back in about 20 minutes?
Yeah, that should be fine, man.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I want to make sure I got in here with you, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate it, man.
You're the man, brother. I'll talk to you very soon. Very good.
Live stuff, man.
Folks, we do a live show here, all right? But I really want to make sure I get to this. Luckily, Gary's a great guy, so we'll be able to come back to him. So, hey, running a business and trying to do this here for you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully he sees this episode. All right, so we're rolling this one. Can you roll that again?
As the mayor of Orange County, to work with the city of Orlando and the city mayor to come up with a robust plan to make Orange County revive downtown Orlando. Because as you stated, as Orlando downtown thrives, so does the destination, so does Orange County, and so does the region. Most people look to want to have a thriving downtown in their city. And so I think it's important the mayor of Orange County works with Orlando to come up with solutions to revive Church Street, downtown, and bring back those interests and want to serve there.
Thank you.
I really appreciate Tiffany saying absolutely nothing right there. Okay. Well, we have to work with Orlando and Orlando has to work with Orange County. This to me was one of the worst answers we heard of the night. Violence is happening in downtown Orlando. Violence is happening, and there needs to be actual steps to solve the problem. And that's going to mean, yes, that people will have to work together. No crap. Of course they will. But when you are running to be the mayor of Orange County, voters should demand an actual answer for you more than, well, I guess we got to cooperate together and we've got to actually have a conversation about the violence so that we can stop it. You know, you may not like my solution like yesterday, Anthony. People may not like it. Lord knows I've gotten people, oh, I'll never follow you. I can't believe you're a sellout, you son of a, you believe in flock cameras and you're going to take, got it, man. Okay. You know what though? There's got to be somebody out there that steps up and says, we need a solution to the problem. We can't keep on doing what we've always done. And so our politicians out here, what people don't like is that they sit there and they go on this fence and they don't say anything. They just give you this word salad and you're like, all right, what did that mean? It sounded good that I'm going to facilitate communication between multiple departments in order to lower our crime rates through cooperative programs that, like, it just goes on and on. Take a stand on something. Say what you're going to do. And unfortunately, I see stuff like this, and it was frustrating to me last night as it is right now, Anthony, because I look at this and I think you're literally running to be mayor, and the largest city within your county has a crime problem that's been exacerbated by fighting and nightlife in the entertainment district that people are trying to save. And all you can say is, well, I guess we got to communicate better. You weren't ready for that question right there. That to me was a terrible answer for the citizens of Orange County. I didn't like that one. It showed me a weakness, in my opinion, for her on crime. And when you have already someone like Monique Worrell, who is in place, who, in my opinion, is weak on crime, I need somebody that's going to step up there in Orange County and say, hey, we are actually going to restore law and order. And we did not see that at all from Tiffany Moore Russell in talking about the violence problem in downtown Orlando. This one was a disappointment to me, Anthony.
Yeah, it wasn't like her answer wasn't bad. It just didn't do anything. It just didn't. It's like if someone asked you how your day. My day was great. I went here, or it'd be a better example. Would be like, how would I put this? Every politician does this. You ask them a question, they give you a rehearsed answer that they have, and then they try to move on from it. But nothing of substance is given to you. And when I watch this clip, I go, where's something I can sink my teeth into? I can hold you accountable to, a measurable number, something that, actually we can really sink our teeth into. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see that here. And in, this show, we focused a lot on the violence that has happened downtown. I want to see the entertainment district saved. And it's going to take a combination of a good mayor in Orlando and a great mayor that we have in Orange County in order to bring that back for those small business owners in the entertainment district in downtown Orlando. And this was her shot to wow me, and I got anything but. And I think that a lot of Orange County voters who watch this are going to leave going, okay, so basically more of the same when it comes to addressing downtown. Very unhappy with this one, Anthony. I need to move on, though. Let's move on to Chris Messina. This, to me, was the turning point for Chris. It was a very tough. This one, he lost people. I want you to watch this at the end, everybody. It's only about a 20-second clip where he answers it. He lost some voters in Orange County on this one, and we'll talk about why. Let's run this clip, Anthony.
Ask one quick follow-up, just a short answer from you. You've identified links funding as one place you might trim. What do you tell bus riders?
Well, first of all, let's look at, so I've proposed with the links that we technology enable it and use that to pull money out of
But are you going
links.
to cut it?
Yeah, so Seminole County has started this pilot. It's called Scout, and they've already generated $10 million in just a few months in savings. So we can do much more in Orange County.
We heard your answer. You will be looking for areas to cut.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one place.
All right.
Okay. He's not wrong, but when your question is directly, are you going to cut links? And your answer is yes. That is going to scare a lot of people who use that service, because if I'm on a links route and I believe that you could cut my ability to be able to go to work, you lost my vote. Now, I surely understand, as I saw with Chris, this entire debate. These are complicated problems. And what they're attempting to do is to take that complicated problem, condense it down to 60 seconds or so, and be able to give it to somebody in something that's palatable for them to understand. It's a very, very difficult thing to do, everybody. And I understand that. And what he is talking about in Seminole County is true. But the soundbite that everyone is going to hear on this is, well, we're cutting links. Yeah, I'm cutting. And for a lot of people, especially those that we're talking about earlier that are on the lower income level, they are using this to go to and from work. And whether you believe it's efficient or not, we can have that argument. You can't say that on the stage, because these people are going to look at it and go, I don't care what's going on in Seminole County. You just told me you're going to cut links. This was a blunder. This, in my opinion, was a very tough one for Chris. I think if he could do this one over again, he would have phrased this differently. Even though he was trying to make this a positive thing for what's going on in Seminole County, he lost some votes right there when he talked about links. I see you nodding your head over there, Anthony. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Honestly, it's I think Chris has really good ideas, but just like from the debate that we saw, he just didn't really have a good delivery with a lot of these questions that were asked for him, and it's a shame. But I think he has really good views. But
he does.
But
all right, I want to get on to probably my favorite clip of the entire night right here. We were very, very happy to see that Martha and Greg decided that they were going to ask a direct question about Visit Orlando. We know, everyone knows, we have been covering that. We got the direct question to the person we wanted the direct question asked to. Here it is. Anthony, roll the clip. Myra answering a question directly about Visit Orlando. Let's see it.
Too much to spend marketing a destination that already attracts tens of millions of visitors each and every year? And how much would you take away from Visit Orlando?
Martha, you said that in such a nice way. I have been the loudest. And I was the one that fought for that audit. And I'm so glad my board followed me, because guess what? We found out they were not using their money correctly. What was very disappointing is that my board allowed them to get away with it and actually loosened the rules on the contract that didn't even require them to have to go to stricter rules. Point simple, it's too much money. $120 million to a private outsourced company is too much money. When you look at it, that $120 million, you have 21,000 cars rented every day in Orange County. You have 250,000 people in our town beyond the ones that live here. They don't contribute to transportation. They don't contribute to public safety. They don't contribute to our water resources. We actually could take some of that money and work on our transportation. We need to get a train to go to the airport. We need to get a train to come down the Sunshine Corridor. We need to help people afford to live in their homes. A third of our population works in tourism. Why don't we help the people who are the backbones of this industry have an ability to live with a quality of life?
Let's go. This is what we're talking about on this show, everyone. We want accountability for the spending. And if we're going to go ahead and we're going to say as a county and as a city that we want to take care of people, then let's start taking care of them with the money that we make here. Let's stop funneling that money back into a private organization to get them to get people to come to Orlando, while billions of dollars from the parks are spent to do the exact same thing. And the very people that come to our county are not coming to the city of Orlando because they're doing such a terrible job. We need that money to go elsewhere. and Myra crushed it, and her record supports it. I don't care what you all want to tell me about what she did a couple of years ago, or whatever you think, scandal and all that crap. I'm focused on right now, everyone. And right now, there's a ton of money that is being funneled through a private organization that is completely useless, in my opinion. And it's about time we got somebody in there that felt strongly about this and wants to do something about it. This was the moment of the debate for me. If y'all don't take anything away from me, you may say a lot of things about my opinions or who I am or what I believe, or you can don't have to disagree with me. But finally, we get someone who says, you know what? It's not being spent directly. It is far too much. I won't renew that contract in 2028. And that money can go to something that actual Orange County residents, the people that are working in those damn hotels, can use, and their lives can actually improve. That's what should get everybody passionate. I was loving this one right here, Anthony. I get fired up about this because let's stop giving our money to a private organization that is hiring companies that are outside of our county, outside of Central Florida. I want people that are hired here, good jobs here, media companies that are hired here. This is what it is. If you want to be the mayor of Orange County, and start looking out for Orange County. Stop looking out for the big hotel groups and everybody. Start looking out for the people that make it happen. And this is how you do it, everybody. Good jobs that come in here from private industry. Taking the money that's wasted away from some private group that nobody has any oversight over and saying, you know what, darn it, enough of this crap. And Myra's the only one with the record that actually has done it. She voted no against Visit Orlando, and I'll be damned, I'm going to do whatever I can to say that is the right way to go. Good job.
Yeah, I love the
man,
response.
I'm fired about this one, brother.
And also, I remember the questions too. I think it was I can't remember if it was Tiffany or Stephanie got the question, and then she was like, "Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna look into it and see like what the things are." It's like they already spent like a crap ton of money, like what was it, like millions of dollars that were just misallocated, and so they're probably doing it again. So, yeah.
Enough of this back and forth. Oh, well, I'm going to look into it and we'll decide. Even Chris's answer at the time, I did not like. Chris said he's not ready to make a judgment yet. He wants to look at the return on the investment. I think that's basically what the rest of them said. I want to look at, hold them accountable. We want to make sure we're getting a return, blah, blah, blah. Folks, let's just talk about common sense here. Everybody out there, I want you to think to yourself, how many people do you think are like, I don't know about Orlando. We need to do advertising for it. Do I not believe, am I stupid enough to sit here and think, oh, well, there can't be any budget for it? No, there needs to be. All right. Because you need to get people to come to a conference in here instead of going to Dallas, Texas. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying there doesn't need to be budget. What I'm saying is there's an immense amount of money that is being wasted because there's no oversight. What I am saying is that Visit Orlando, a company based right here, is busy funneling a lot of money to outside organizations, which we're going to be discussing in New York and other states, when there are great companies here that we can use that money and bring jobs into Central Florida, not somewhere else. That's what I am asking for here. And I don't think I'm asking for anything crazy. And thank you, Myra, for being the only one that actually wanted to stand up and say, no, we are going to make cuts. And that is what I've stood behind with my record. Good job. That for me, the moment of the debate, if Orange County residents can take anything from it, please take that moment. Yeah. I want to go on to our next one right here. We've got two more clips here for you. I want to talk about this. A very interesting clip right here from Chris Messina late in the debate. Make a judgment for yourself. I think you're going to find that I have a very interesting opinion about this clip.
Town is we need a makeover of Church Street. We need a conscious vision for what it could be. And my vision is that Church Street would be an esports and entertainment, sports and entertainment complex that would be the center of our downtowns. Because we don't have a great county without a great Orlando, and we don't have a great Orlando without a great downtown. And so we need to think big about how could we make this downtown more vibrant, and also give the folks who live in that area an ownership stake in the success of it.
It was indicative of what you said earlier, Anthony. Mm-hmm. we have somebody in Chris who has great ideas, but he's trying to condense those ideas into something bite-sized that people can understand, and they're not. Let me be clear. Even on this show, everybody, I'm trying to take complex ideas and put them into a short little clip for you so that we can understand them at some level and we can make a decision as a voter. I do my best to try to be able to do that. And I'm not up on a stage. I don't have a clock in the corner that's counting me down. And this is what happened to Chris time and time again on the debate stage last night. He had great ideas, but they were too complex to be able to shrink into 1 minute. And therefore, it kind of looked like he lost track of his thoughts because he's trying to sit there and go, how do I connect here to here when there are so many data points and I've got to make it seem very simple to everybody? That's not an easy thing to do. And so this is a great idea. We're talking about bringing life back to Church Street. And he's saying, hey, what if we made it like an esports, a hub? Like basically you could come down there. What if this was something that brought jobs, it brought families, it brought good restaurant, like it was a cool thing. Yeah. Okay. I'm behind this. I like where you're going with this, bringing tech, which he's big, into downtown Orlando and help revitalize a street instead of just repaving the darn thing like our current city is doing right now. Mm-hmm. It was a great idea and it is doable, but people will not hear that because they get lost in him trying to piece it together. Yeah. He's much better when it comes to a long form. When you sit down with him, he comes across as extremely genuine. He listens to you. He's not a typical politician, but you lost him on this one. And that's where, for me, why I want to discuss this one with you, Anthony, because great idea, just kind of lost in translation.
Yeah. And I think too, one thing that I personally didn't really like too much from this one was that I can't remember the exact question, but it was about like crime and safety. And so I feel like he just didn't really answer that part of Church Street. And bringing it up, yes, but like I feel like you got to talk more about like adding in more police force, adding in better policies, so that way it's a little bit better. But I think he was just had a vision more of like the future, which I agree, like that'd be cool for an e-space, but I think before that should be something different.
I 100% agree with you. This one was hard because this is where I felt like Chris lost a little bit, and not because of his ideas, but because of the delivery. Let's move into our last clip that we have, everybody, here. This is going to be Tiffany Moore Russell. She's going to be talking about homelessness and how we solve, specifically, how do we solve the homeless problem in Orange County? Let's take a listen.
Still say they don't feel safe and they're seeing homelessness in their neighborhood. What specifically has county government gotten wrong? 30 seconds, please.
Well, I think we have to recognize and acknowledge that homelessness is a very difficult topic to tackle. It's extremely difficult. We know we have such a broad spectrum of those in the homeless community, from those who are chronically homeless to those who need temporary housing or those who are looking for permanent solutions. And I believe we have so many different providers out there working in silos, and we have to do a better job of collaborating together, everyone working in the business, with the Homeless Service Network and all providers coming together, coming up with a strategic plan to address how we're going to reduce the homelessness in this community. And I think that is the best way for the county to move forward to providing those services. How do we reduce those who are chronically homeless? How do we make sure we can have more temporary shelters that not only provide services to those who are men or women and families, as well as problems and solutions to go towards more permanent housing for a sustainable future for our families.
Okay. Tiffany, thank you.
You're the one running to be mayor. Why are you asking us the rhetorical question? How do we do this? Tell me. You're running to be mayor. That's literally what you're up there on stage to tell me how to do. And I hate it when I hear these words, Anthony, like strategic or comprehensive. You're running to be mayor. You're telling me we have to come up with a strategic plan to people to cooperate with one another. Tell me the plan. You're the leader. That's like going into a meeting where you're going to be one who delivers and you go, hey, let's talk about what the plan's going to be. It's like, no, the meeting today is for you to give us the plan. Like, that's the reason we're all getting together, so that you can give it to us. That's why we're up. That's why we're asking you, because you want our vote. Instead, we get a strategic and we're in a partnership and bring everybody together to look for solutions to the problem. Well, no crap. And of course, it's a complicated problem. That's why we're asking you, because you are the one running for mayor of Orange County. Why else would we be asking you the question unless it was a complicated one? The simple ones are probably ones that we can figure out on our own, and we wouldn't be asking you on stage in a debate. Thank you, Captain Obvious, for not answering the question at all. This, again, another political answer from somebody that has been in politics for God knows how long. The person didn't answer anything that was going on. There's no answer there at all, except communication, strategic this, and more cooperation, and we're going to come together and partner, and yeah, okay, we're cool. Yeah, everyone's good. What are we doing? This right here, D- on this answer. So that is the clips that I have right now, Anthony. That takes us through our debate right there. It started, like we said, with housing. We moved through into Amendment 3. Obviously, we talked about homelessness and some of the cuts that would need to be made in government after that. Myra dominated the question that we had with Visit Orlando. We had Chris Messina and his view on Church Street, and then Tiffany Moore Russell giving us word salad and absolutely no answers on the obvious complicated problem of homelessness. No crap that it's complicated, Tiffany. That's why we're talking about it. That was the mayoral debate last night, everyone. Of course, go over to WFTV Channel 9. They've got the entire thing posted there. You can go watch it for free. They did a great job. Martha, Greg, awesome job as moderators last night, moving the thing forward, keeping everybody in line. Really happy with what I saw right there. Anthony, I think it's time that I give my rankings. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to really surprise some people on this one, but it's very important that we get context. I'd like to hear your opinions about this afterwards, okay?
Yeah.
The clear winner last night, Myra Uribe is the clear winner of last night's debate. Nobody had any doubt that was watching it that she won the debate last night. Hands down, period, hard stop. She won the debate. She was clear on her answers. You may not, and again, everyone, what about this? I'm talking about last night. The woman won the debate. She's the clear winner. Would you agree on this, Anthony?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone in our chat last night agreed. Everybody who watched with us agreed last night. Clear winner in last night's debate. I'm going to surprise some people with my number 2. Tiffany Moore Russell. Listen, I was critical of Tiffany here. I've been critical of her and what her views are. I've been critical of her as a county clerk. However, though, she presented herself extremely well, although I didn't like her answers. She came across as
confident. Yeah.
Exactly. Very confident. Listen, presentation matters, and she presented herself extremely well up there on stage yesterday. Number 3, Stephanie Murphy. She made a good comeback in the second half of the debate. Not a lot of sound clips from her or sound bites from her because a lot of her stuff rambled on, but she did make a good comeback in the second half. And it pains me to say this, number 4 is Chris Messina. And I want everyone to understand I am not in any way against Chris Messina. He had the toughest job last night. The toughest. He is the one conservative that is on the ballot. And he had to go in there and he had to defend his positions as a conservative. This is why I put him at number 4. And I want this pains me but I have to be honest about what I see, everyone, because that's what you would appreciate from me. When you are the underdog, when you're the one guy on stage who's not having a D behind his name, you have to go on the offensive. And all he did was blend in last night. You had 3 people on stage who are accountable for the problems that are happening in Orange County at some level. You had your chance to go after them from the private sector and to call it out for what it was, to say, this is your problem, and to pin it onto them. Because if they're the ones that are asking for solutions, everyone, then they're the ones who have also been a part of the problem if they've been in government for God knows how long. He had that opportunity and he didn't take it. It only happened maybe one time I can remember where he kind of turned and he kind of faced them. And I kind of felt myself getting a little excited because he was going to take it to him, I thought, and then it faded. Mm-hmm. And I think this is because Chris is genuinely a good person who cares about private businesses and wants to find solutions. But in a race like this, where you are the conservative that is on stage, you have to take it to him and you have to separate yourself. The other thing he had to struggle with is we have to look at the optics of it. a guy on stage and 3 women. He had to juggle that in his mind between looking like he's mansplaining up there and actually getting the point across of the record that the other 3 on stage have. And he wasn't able to accomplish that. All he was doing was focusing on his agenda, when in my opinion, if I was his campaign manager, I would have looked at him, had a little Rocky Balboa moment in the back and go, hey, this is the final round. You got to go out swinging on this one because we're down right now. And we got to come out swinging if we want to win. You may disagree with me on what you think the advice should be given to Chris, but that's what I would have said. And for a lot of people out there, they put him at number 1. I talked to friends last night after, like, hey, I really love the guy's ideas. He's the only one that had unique ideas. That's what I heard. Me, I thought you needed to go on the offensive. You needed to move the needle if you're Chris as a conservative. I don't feel like he did that, and that was my concern, Anthony, as I left the debate last night.
Yeah, definitely agree. And honestly, too, that's why I think Myra did a really good job. Which like everyone else was just kind of giving fluff answers, especially for the Visit Orlando part.
Yeah.
She was like directly like, nope, this is too much money. This is how I believe. This is why I'm against it for 100%. So
yeah. Who did you have at number 1?
Myra as well.
And number 2?
I actually had Stephanie, but only because
you had Stephanie number 2. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think there wasn't really too much that she said really that I think would just put her at number 2. Yeah.
And who did you have at 3?
Tiffany as well.
You had Tiffany as well. Okay.
Yep. And
then you had Chris.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I like Chris.
Me too.
I think he'll be great, but maybe more behind the scenes. I feel like he's a behind the scenes person, which maybe he's just like in an office, he'll do great, like as a mayor in an office doing all these policies. But I think just up on stage, it's a bit harder because you have to be eccentric and have a personality that's different than being in an office.
Yeah, I want to say this, like the person on stage with the personality, Tiffany Moore Russell, she's got a personality.
Oh yeah.
You got to call it like, I mean, do I agree with her? No. Do I think she's done it? Do I think there's some questions that are left unanswered? And have we been critical of her on the show? You're darn right we have. But we also are going to continue to give credit where it's due. I can have 2 things can be true at once. There's an and in there. Yeah, there's questions about the way she's run the clerk of court office. There's questions there. And she's got a dynamic personality that it comes alive on stage. She was the best presented on stage. The green, she had this energy about her. I thought she kind of had that personality that bubbled. She had a good smile, like presented herself well in her ideas. Like they came across extremely well on that. I was very unique when I saw that there, brother. I wasn't expecting that from her. It's the first time I've seen her on stage in that capacity. I've seen some interviews with her. Very well presented, a politician for sure. And she surprised me on that. So I think now this thing gets real interesting, everyone. Real interesting in Orange County, because I think there's a lot of voters out there who saw Myra for the first time in a different light. Mm-hmm. And she moved the needle for herself last night. She is in this race, like she's in it. And she's had a lot of money that has been poured in against her. And let's be very clear about why. Everyone knows it. My opinion. It's my opinion, okay? I'm not saying everyone knows, but it's clearly my opinion that you have Visit Orlando and others like it and others who support that organization that are saying, you know what? We don't want a Myra to become the mayor of Orange County because she's being very clear on what she's going to do with that money. And if you're risking losing all of that funding, let me tell you what, you'll put a lot of money behind a Stephanie Murphy. And what Myra did last night is she said, money be damned. I'm going to go ahead and stand up for what I believe is right and hope that Orange County voters go, you know what? There's something to this woman right here, and I think she deserves my vote. I'm not saying where my vote is going. I'm saying that she gave an opportunity for herself last night. Anthony, any good questions coming in from the audience today before we wrap up here?
Let's see.
Any good questions? I got some interesting ones over here, but
no questions, just a lot of people just talking about like different things from what I can see.
Yeah, I love this one right here. And I'm so impressed with Myra, and I didn't expect to be. Yeah, me too. And I've had her on the show. She had a great personality on the show. Don't get me wrong. But you never know what someone's going to be like when the lights turn on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's when you get on the stage and the lights turn on, it's a different thing. Keenan, Patrick for mayor. Yeah. We're ways away from that one. All right.
Someone's like, Patrick, are you part of the Myra campaign? Seriously. But I'm like, you know what? She did great. I think she did great.
No, I'm not a part of anybody's campaign.
Yeah.
People say this because I start to like something, like Flock Cameras, or who paid you, Patrick, to like Flock Cam? No one pays me. Me and Anthony, you know this. We sit down here and we talk about these issues in the mornings. We try to bring you an honest opinion of what we have. And you know what? We're two people that are, me and Anthony, the smartest guys in all of Orlando? No. We'd like to think that we know what we do. We look, we try to do some research. We try to bring you the best facts that we can. And if we screw up, we say we screwed up. But that doesn't mean that we're a part of anybody's camp. Not Republican, not Democrat. We're trying to find the truth and ask questions from, I don't know, a place where we're not paid for by everybody else. Like, I literally have to get off this call so that I can make my next call for my work. All right. Like, somebody last night, man, they're, what, you don't respond to me? I'm like, man, I don't respond to anybody when they send me messages. Until I get to them, I will respond, but cut me a little slack.
Yeah.
Like, we're out here just like making money hand over fist. Like somebody's walking in the door over here to hand us $5,000 or something to go talk nicely about somebody. We don't need that. We don't do that. Let me be very clear about something, Anthony, because I think it's very important to say, I have never, nor will I ever accept any money from anyone to come sit in this chair across from me. If somebody wants to come here and I feel like they will bring value to the viewer, I will have them on. I'm going to give you a great example. We were speaking with Congressman Frost's team this morning. Listen, we don't agree on much, me and him, but I think we can have a good conversation. Chris Messina has sat here, Chief Smith, Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. We have people on this show, Ana Escamani. We have people on this show because we believe that they can add value to your life, even if it's just to make a decision on their beliefs and how they might affect you day to day. We're not paid for by anybody. Sometimes I wish I was. Man, you know how much you see me here every day. You know how much stress there is to run a small business and try to run a show every day? Cut me some slack, everyone. You think I'm going to another call because I'm being paid $10,000 by Myra's campaign or somebody else like that? No. Man, it'd be a lot easier if I was.
Oh, yeah.
Man, and by the way, if somebody wants to walk in with a fat check, but no, I'm not going to accept payments, everyone, from people to sit here. I don't accept payments to talk about anything. If somebody wants to come on and sponsor our show, go on. We have people to sponsor for $20 a month. We talk, we have a discourse. That doesn't mean anybody has any say in what I do here. 0 people. Me, and me alone. And so, if you don't like it, come up with better ideas yourself and then make your own channel and go out there and prove me wrong. And that's okay. But cut me a little bit of slack sometimes. I'm one guy with a camera, and I got a great guy over here who tries to help me out and does an amazing job. So we're trying our best here. Cut us a little bit of slack. We make mistakes. I know yesterday, Anthony, I made a mistake. Told OPD I made a mistake, and we redid the video. All right? Because that's the right thing to do. We want the truth. We're not paid for by anybody. And I hope that over time, Anthony, people will appreciate that about what we're trying to do, even if they disagree with us.
Yeah, like we have videos of like talking bad about OPD, but then good videos that they do. And then we did a video talking bad about OPD again. And then we realized we got the facts wrong. So we did a video on that. We just try to give you the truth. And that's all we want to do. And just fix Orlando, give us our opinion. And
yeah, I want the same thing that so many people want. I want a vibrant Orange County in Orlando. And that's because I live right there. You know, I work. I mean, my friend, like we all want the same thing. And my way of going about doing it is here. This is what I do. And so people, you may not like the fact that your feed is flooded with what I do, but that's what's going to happen. And I hope that what we can try to do is we can have discourse here with one another like we did last night. It was really beautiful last night. I really enjoyed everyone in the chat last night because I felt like it was going back and forth. People were giving their opinions. And that's what we need if we're going to change, if we're going to fix things. We're going to have to identify real problems and have to make hard solutions. And if I can be the punching bag for a lot of people, then you know what? Let me be that punching bag, because through that, we will find solutions to one another. And when you want to go out there and you want to stand for something, people will try to knock you down. If you don't stand for anything, you'll never have somebody speak out against you. And I would tell everybody that if you watch my show and you want to know who I am or what I'm about, I'm going to try to find the truth, and then I'm going to burden whatever that means to me. So if I say the truth, my truth, and you don't like it, I accept the fact that that could lose me business. I accept the fact it could lose me people who want to work for my company. I accept that because it's me, and I'm willing to do that and burden that. And if you want something for me to talk about, give me a little bit of grace, because you know what? I'll probably try to get to it, but we only have so much time in the day, and there's only one of me. So cut us a little slack, and we'll do our absolute best for you each and every day right here. I hope that we can provide you some entertainment and come as close to the truth as we possibly can for everybody who watches. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for joining us here on the Patrick Carr Show. As always, we'll be back tomorrow. Is it Thursday tomorrow?
Yep.
It's Friday Eve. Letting you know. All right. I got to go run some payroll. I got to jump back on this meeting right here. Thank you all very much for joining us. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.